The fall of the Roman Empire is a complex and multifaceted event that occurred over several centuries. While historians continue to debate the exact causes and sequence of events leading to its downfall, there are several key factors that are widely recognized as contributing to its decline, among which are corruption, the rise of Christianity, and barbaric invasions. In this video, we will explore the top 10 reasons for the fall of the Roman Empire. 1. Political instability. The Roman Empire experienced a series of weak and ineffective rulers in its later years. Constant power struggles and infighting among emperors weakened central authority and made it difficult to govern effectively. Political instability can have far-reaching consequences on the governance and stability of any society, and the Roman Empire serves as a prime example. In its later years, the Roman Empire experienced a period of turmoil characterized by weak and ineffective rulers. This led to constant power struggles and infighting among emperors, ultimately compromising central authority and making effective governance a challenging task. The decline of strong leadership within the Roman Empire had severe implications for its stability. As emperors battled for control, their focus shifted from governing effectively to securing their own position of power. This resulted in a lack of coherent policies and strategies to address pressing issues facing the empire. Furthermore, frequent changes in leadership created an atmosphere of uncertainty and unpredictability. The constant turnover of emperors not only disrupted continuity, but also hindered long-term planning. The inability to establish stable governance structures weakened the empire's ability to confront external threats or internal challenges efficiently. 2. Economic issues. The empire faced economic challenges such as inflation, high taxes, debasement of currency, and trade imbalances. These factors led to a decline in productivity and wealth within the empire. During its heyday, the empire encountered a series of economic challenges that had a significant impact on its stability and prosperity. One of the major issues was inflation, which refers to the general increase in prices and decrease in the purchasing power of money. This rise in prices made it increasingly difficult for individuals to afford basic necessities, leading to a decline in their standard of living. Furthermore, high taxes imposed by the empire placed a heavy burden on its citizens. These taxes were often used to fund military campaigns and lavish lifestyles of the ruling elite, leaving little room for economic growth and development. Another contributing factor to the empire's economic woes was the debasement of currency. In an attempt to address financial difficulties, emperors resorted to reducing the precious metal content in coins or issuing new coins with lower value. This devaluation led to a loss of trust in the currency and further exacerbated inflationary pressures. 3. Barbarian invasions. The Roman Empire faced frequent invasions from barbarian tribes such as the Visigoths, Vandals, and Huns. These invasions put immense pressure on military resources and eventually led to territorial losses. During the decline of the Roman Empire, one of the major challenges that it faced was the frequent invasions from various barbarian tribes. The Visigoths, Vandals, and Huns were among the most prominent tribes that posed a significant threat to the empire. These invasions put immense pressure on Roman military resources and ultimately led to territorial losses. The Visigoths, originating from northern Europe, first appeared on the Roman borders in the late 4th century. They successfully sacked Rome in 410 AD under their leader, Alaric I. This event shocked the world as it was believed that Rome was impregnable. The Visigoths continued their incursions into Roman territories and eventually established their own kingdom in parts of Gaul and Spain. The Vandals were another Germanic tribe that proved to be a formidable enemy for the Romans. This event further weakened an already vulnerable empire and marked a significant blow to its prestige. The Huns, led by their infamous leader Attila, were a nomadic people from Central Asia who posed a serious threat not only to Rome, but also to other barbarian tribes in Europe. Attila's campaigns reached as far as Gaul before being halted by combined forces of Romans and Visigoths at Chalons in 451 AD. These repeated invasions took a toll on Roman military resources, which were already stretched thin due to internal conflicts and political instability within the empire. The need to defend against these barbarian attacks drained both manpower and financial resources from Rome. 4. Military decline. Over time, the once mighty Roman military began to lose its effectiveness due to a combination of factors, including inadequate training and recruitment practices. The decline of the Roman military, once a formidable force, can be attributed to various factors that ultimately led to its reduced effectiveness. One significant aspect was the inadequate training and recruitment practices implemented over time. As the Roman Empire expanded, maintaining a large and capable military became increasingly challenging. Consequently, the quality of soldiers began to diminish as proper training and rigorous selection processes were compromised. In earlier periods, the Roman military had been renowned for its disciplined and well-trained soldiers. However, as the empire grew larger, it became more difficult to find suitable recruits who possessed the necessary skills and dedication. This led to a relaxation in recruitment standards, with less emphasis placed on physical fitness, combat proficiency, and character assessment. Moreover, training methods also underwent changes during this period of decline. The traditional Roman practice of extensive drilling and discipline gradually eroded as resources were stretched thin across an ever-expanding empire. Training sessions became shorter and less rigorous due to budget constraints and logistical challenges. Another contributing factor was the rise of reliance on mercenaries within the Roman military. As manpower shortages persisted, hiring foreign soldiers became a common practice. While these mercenaries could provide additional numbers on paper, they often lacked loyalty towards Rome or a strong sense of duty towards their comrades. 5. Moral decay. There was a noticeable decline in moral values within Roman society during this period. Corruption became rampant among government officials, while societal norms eroded over time. This decline manifested itself in various ways, including widespread corruption among government officials and the erosion of societal norms. As power became concentrated in the hands of a few, individuals in positions of authority began to exploit their positions for personal gain. Bribery, embezzlement, and nepotism became prevalent practices, undermining the integrity of the government and eroding public trust. Furthermore, societal norms gradually deteriorated over time. Traditional values that had once been cherished were increasingly disregarded or even mocked. Respect for authority waned as individuals pursued their own self-interest without considering the common good. This erosion of societal norms contributed to an atmosphere where unethical behavior was normalized and accepted. The decline in moral values during this period had far-reaching consequences for Roman society. It weakened social cohesion and eroded trust between citizens and their leaders. Additionally, it created an environment where dishonesty and selfishness thrived at the expense of honesty and altruism. 6. Corruption. Corruption was pervasive at all levels of Roman society, from emperors down to local officials. This undermined trust in government institutions and eroded social cohesion. Corruption is a deeply ingrained issue that plagued Roman society in ancient times. It was pervasive across all levels of the social hierarchy, from emperors to local officials. This widespread corruption had detrimental effects on the trust people had in their government institutions, and ultimately led to the erosion of social cohesion within Roman society. It was not limited to just emperors, but also extended to local officials. Corruption in the Roman Empire took many forms, including bribery, embezzlement, and nepotism. Emperors and high-ranking officials often abused their power for personal gain, leading to a sense of disillusionment among the general population. This erosion of trust in government institutions made it difficult for Romans to have confidence in the fairness and integrity of their leaders. Furthermore, corruption weakened social cohesion by creating a sense of injustice and inequality. When individuals believed that those in power were only interested in their own enrichment, it bred resentment and division among different segments of society. The lack of transparency and accountability in governance contributed to a breakdown in solidarity among the Roman people. The damaging consequences of corruption on Roman society cannot be underestimated. It hindered economic development, as resources were misappropriated instead of being invested back into public infrastructure and services. Additionally, corruption undermined the rule of law and weakened the overall stability of the empire. 7. Social unrest. The growing gap between rich and poor created social tensions within the empire, which often erupted into riots or civil unrest. Social unrest is a complex issue that arises from various socio-economic factors and can have far-reaching consequences. One such factor that has been widely recognized as a catalyst for social tensions is the growing gap between the rich and poor within societies. This imbalance in wealth distribution often leads to feelings of injustice, resentment, and inequality among the less privileged members of society. As the disparity between the rich and poor widens, it creates a sense of frustration and discontentment among those who struggle to make ends meet. Economic inequality not only affects individuals' financial stability, but also impacts their access to basic necessities, such as healthcare, education, and opportunities for advancement. This stark contrast in living conditions fuels social tensions and can result in various forms of civil unrest. Riots or civil unrest are often manifestations of deep-seated grievances resulting from economic disparity. When people feel marginalized or excluded from society's benefits, they may resort to protests, demonstrations, or even violence as a means to express their frustration. These acts of social unrest can disrupt public order, threaten stability and impact both individuals and communities. In conclusion, the growing gap between the rich and poor plays a significant role in creating social tensions within societies, which often manifest as riots or civil unrest. Recognizing this issue as a societal concern necessitates collective efforts aimed at reducing economic disparities while fostering inclusivity through policy changes and promoting dialogue among different segments of society. 8. Division and fragmentation. The empire became increasingly fragmented, with different regions asserting their independence or falling under the control of rival factions. This weakened the empire's ability to respond to external threats. During its decline, the once mighty empire experienced division and fragmentation, which significantly weakened its ability to effectively respond to external threats. As different regions within the empire began asserting their independence or falling under the control of rival factions, the centralized power and authority of the empire eroded. The fragmentation of the empire led to a loss of unity and coordination among its various territories. Local leaders and factions prioritized their own interests over those of the empire as a whole, further exacerbating internal divisions. This lack of cohesion greatly hindered the empire's ability to mount a unified defense against external threats. Without a strong central authority, decision-making became decentralized and disjointed. This made it difficult for the empire to develop and implement effective strategies in response to challenges from neighboring powers or invading forces. The absence of a united front not only weakened military defenses, but also undermined diplomatic efforts, as rival factions pursued conflicting agendas on behalf of their respective territories. 9. Religious conflict. The rise of Christianity and its conflicts with traditional Roman religious practices added further strain to an already divided society. During the ancient Roman Empire, the rise of Christianity brought about significant religious conflict within society. As Christianity gained popularity and followers, tensions grew between adherents of this new faith and those who practiced traditional Roman religious beliefs. This clash of ideologies further strained a society that was already divided along various lines. The emergence of Christianity presented a direct challenge to the polytheistic beliefs and practices that had long been ingrained in Roman society. The Romans worshipped a pantheon of gods and goddesses, each associated with different aspects of life and nature. These deities were an integral part of the social, political, and cultural fabric of Rome. However, as Christianity spread throughout the empire, it introduced monotheistic beliefs centered around Jesus Christ as the Son of God. This fundamental difference in belief systems created tension between Christians and adherents to traditional Roman religions. The conflicts arose on multiple levels. Firstly, religious practices differed significantly between Christianity and traditional Roman religion. Christians rejected idol worship and polytheism, while emphasizing personal devotion to their one God. This rejection challenged the established religious rituals and customs followed by Romans for centuries. Additionally, Christianity's rapid growth threatened the authority and power structures within Roman society. As more people converted to this new faith, it posed a potential threat to the existing social order upheld by traditional Roman religion. 10. Loss of civic virtue. The decline in civic virtue, or the sense of duty towards the state and community, contributed to a breakdown in social cohesion and a loss of collective identity. Over the years, societies have witnessed a decline in civic virtue, which refers to the sense of duty and responsibility towards the state and community. This decline has had significant consequences for social cohesion and collective identity. Understanding these dynamics is crucial in finding ways to restore civic engagement and strengthen our collective bonds. It is important to note that these factors did not act in isolation, but rather interacted with and influenced one another. While no single reason can fully explain the fall of the Roman Empire, understanding these key factors provides valuable insights into this pivotal period in history.